Hey guys, welcome to the video. So I've spent the last 3 years trying to find an action camera setup that I'm 100% happy with, and I finally found something. But I've learned a lot of stuff along the way, so I'll just talk about some things that I found that do not work and my current camera setup. So let's check it out. Subscribe. So the first thing I found that does not work is the GoPro Hero 4. That was my first camera. And simply with a chest mount, just does not work. It's not stable enough. There's no stability in this camera whatsoever. You can get some pretty nice footage out of a Hero 4, but that's with a 2-axis gimbal on your chest. Super bulky, super heavy. I'm not interested in that for sure. So I thought I would try putting a chin mount on my full face helmet. And the footage is pretty decent. It's more stable for sure, but I have some problems with this. When I ride my bike, I'm generally out kind of just leisure riding and I'm looking around. So as I look at the squirrel over there, so does my camera. So the footage is often kind of all over the place. But the biggest thing I don't like about the chin mount is that it's 3 inches away from my mouth. And when I ride, I'm often breathing pretty heavy, and there's some weird grunts and groans that come out of my mouth that I never knew happened. So not a fan of the chest mount. That's just my opinion, and for me. It definitely works for some people, but not this guy. I did try the GoPro brand chest mount, and kind of same thing. It's just more comfortable. It's got nice padding on the backside. The straps are a little bit more robust, so it does hold the camera a little bit more stable, but Hero 4 doesn't work. So I ended up getting the Hero 9, and for the most part, I was pretty happy with this camera. I ended up getting the max lens mod, so a little bit wider field of view, horizon leveling. Pretty nice footage out of that when it's light out. So I did the whole BC bike race video series on the Hero 9. And I really don't have anything bad to say about that footage. It was really nice, good quality, really stable. But yeah, and that's when the GoPros work really good. They gotta have perfect sunlight, really bright scenarios, and the GoPros are hard to beat. But where they suck is low light, and that's basically all winter for me. It's rainy and gloomy here in Vancouver Island, and of course all our trails are in the forest, in the trees. So the GoPros really struggle, and it's very, like, you can get away with it, but I don't know, I'm just looking for something higher quality. And you get into the dark areas in the trees, and it's just little jerky movements of the camera that's, I don't know, it was bothering me. So I ended up getting the Ace Pro, and I am 100% happy with this camera. I was absolutely blown away. Every time I use it, I'm more and more impressed with it. I was having a little bit of trouble with the audio. I used a foam wind slayer on the GoPro with every ride. So I was able to find a wind slayer for the Ace Pro. It's a little bit thinner than the GoPro ones, but I actually like that because there's a little bit of wind noise that comes through these, and I think it sounds really good. It's only when you're going like really fast, and I'm okay with that because it makes it seem like you're going really fast with some wind noise. But without it, it's too much wind noise, and it's just not good. So yeah, as far as settings on this thing, I turned the wind reduction off with the wind slayer, and then when it's dark, gray, gloomy, I use the pure video mode, and I often turn on the low light stability setting. But if it's a nice day, sun is shining, I'll just record in regular 4K, 24 frames a second. That's my preference, is 24 frames. Gives you a nice little bit of motion blur when you're really ripping through the trees. Yeah, a little bit of motion blur is nice. It looks natural how kind of we see it with our human eyes. So as far as the mount that I'm using, and that is pretty much always been the case, and that is with my USWE backpack. You can get the add-on chest mount that's kind of built right into it, and I have not found anything that is more stable and more comfortable than this. I like having the backpack with me anyways. Throw my keys and phone in it so I don't have a bunch of stuff in my pockets. Yeah, it's not a huge bag. It does have a 3-liter bladder, really hot days. Yeah, I wore this the entire BC bike race with a full bladder and an extra water bottle, plus yeah, some tools and stuff. And it is really comfortable. Maybe a little bit warm, but I'm okay with that. But yeah, really tough to beat the USWE chest mount. And yeah, one thing I really like about the Ace Pro 2 is the new mount on it. It's nice if you have to change a setting. With the GoPro, you'd have to, I would basically just take out the thumb screw all the time, and it's a pain in the ass, where the Ace Pro is just off. So that is a huge perk. So here's some footage of a ride down Zuhalem. This was in February and almost 5 p.m. So normally in this scenario, I would have my bike lights on, one on my helmet and one on my bars. I wore it on my bars, but I didn't even turn it on because I really wanted to see how the Ace Pro did. And absolutely mind-blowing on how good this thing works in the low light. All of these clips are shot in the pure video mode. It's the best mode for low light scenarios. It's 4K, 24 frames a second, and I also have the low light stabilization turned on. For the audio setting, I'm using stereo with my Windslayer installed. When I first looked at this footage, I had to do a double take and make sure I was looking at the right footage. It really doesn't look that dark at all, but I can assure you, February 5 p.m. on Vancouver Island is pretty darn dark. I would normally have at least my handlebar light turned on, if not also my headlamp.
Ooh, it is getting dark. Ah, it's the worst I've ever hit that, I think.
Ace Pro is an absolute beast in low light scenarios. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you have any questions, you can leave it in the comments. Thanks for watching the video today. We'll see you soon.